Alright guys, so I'm about to go into the intro, but first I just want to say that all of the lineups and stuff are time-stamped. So we'll just get right into it. So over here on A, all of my lineups are going to land right here, which is really good because, you know, it's safe from heaven and it's right in the middle. Make sure your teammates are like planting it right in the middle so that you get the most value out of your lineups, and make sure that none of them miss. So just, yeah, right here in the middle. Make sure they do that. Also, you should not be planting the bomb. Don't pull a shroud. Let your teammates plant the bomb so you can get out of there, do your lineups, keep your smokes up. So over here we have this little like box thing. Just go ahead and shoot at that, and that'll land just on the spike. You could even move it a little bit left if you wanted to get more coverage this way, but this is totally fine. Also from short. So this one is a little more dangerous, I would say, because like people can come down here and shoot you, but you're a little hidden. So, but I usually do the one by the box. But anyway, here's this one. So you see this weird like stone thing. Basically, what you want to do is the left click button above your snake bite. You just want to put the top diamond right here. Just go ahead and give that a shoot, and that should land right on the spike. You could do it a little bit more forward, but this also still lands, and it has a lot of coverage area. Like, typically with lineups, you don't want to land your molly, like, right on the spike, because you get less actual area. So I would just do that one. You could do it a little bit more down, but that works. Now, this is actually the best lineup for A site. So you come over here into sewers, line up in this corner, and basically you'll see this little like gap in the roof right here. Just go ahead and shoot it right at that. It bounces off this and lands. This lineup is insane. I have gotten so many kills, so many clutched rounds with this lineup, because you just sit down here for most of the time, and then like, you know, you come over here with your, here, let me get a phantom. You come over here, you get ready, you just quickly shoot your lineup, bounces there, and you're chilling. Now you just chill here and then, you know, pop out again. And the opponents typically, it's kind of a pain in the ass to come down here and clear this, right? And they're probably not sure where you are exactly, because most people expect lineups to be landing from here or here. So the sewer one's really good. And probably one more is this one. This one's hard to get off, but I have gotten it off before, and it's pretty good. So you come behind this box and you see like this thing. Basically what you want to do is you want to put the bottom left, just to the left of your snake bite, you have this little like curly line thing. Just go ahead and put that there and give that a shoot, and that should land right on the spike. There you go. So that's pretty much all the molly lineups for A. Let's go to B. Here, let me grab the spike.
I have the spike.
So on B, I typically plant either right in front, like right here, or over here. This is way safer, so I like this, and it's better for the lineups, but you can still plant in the front for the spawn lineup. So let's just put it here for now. So we're gonna go to spawn. Keep in mind this is a little bit risky. Like, typically you want to play with your team on site, but this can work, and I've won rounds with this. So you look at this top little gold thing, go ahead and shoot that. That lands right in the center. So I wouldn't do not use this one if you plant here, because it could miss. But basically the same thing, you just come to the center, great, and you just shoot it slightly to the left. So like right over here is fine, anywhere just to the left of it is fine, and that lands right on the spike. So those are two good ones for B. Oh, and I have this last one. This lineup is so dirty, like no one in the world would ever see this coming, but it is pretty difficult to get here. So you need to know where your opponents are, right? So it's like if you're in like a 2v2 or something and your opponents are over here, you can come over here and get in this corner, and then basic here, let me get the op so that I can show you. So we have this whole like open circle here, and then just up there's this trapezoid hole in the leaves. Now you have to be so careful with this because it is so easy to miss. So you want to do the top part of this trapezoid. If you do the bottom part, you will miss. So I'm talking just in the top. It's like the center of my crosshair is right on the top side, not on the bottom. If you do this, you will miss. It has to be here. So give that a shoot. And this is crazy. It bounces off this thing and lands here. It's so good. I mean, it's not that good, but it's hilarious. So yeah, that's that's probably my last one for B. And just be careful because it's easy to miss. You might need to, hop in a custom and practice that you can do that. Okay, let's go over C. So for C, all my lineups are for here, pretty much. Don't plant here. Like if you plant here, you are throwing the round for your team because your teammates long can't see it, your teammates garage can't see it, your teammates backside can't see it. Like there's just literally nowhere you can be playing where you see the spike. So just always plant like on the edge. Like I typically, come in here and just the only area you're exposed to is this. Your teammates should already be checking this and holding garage for you. So yeah, definitely just plant here. Okay, now let's go back here. I also don't like doing lineups from this side because you're really exposed, right? Like the opponents just walk up slightly and then kill you instantly, and you have nowhere to run. Like if you need to retreat while your lineups are landing and your orb's up, like retreat over here, you can do that if you're on this side, but if you're on this side, you'll just die. So I only do my lineups from this side. So you look at this top little like post thing, and then the bottom left of your toxin bar, just line that up on the top. And that lands, obviously, right on the spike. So that's a good one. This one is interesting. Harder to get here, though. And it takes a little time. But this corner, you actually get free picks sometimes. This is so ratty. So, like, people rotating from here, people rotating here, people like to come in through garage. If you're sitting here, no one in their right mind is checking this corner. I'm telling you, nobody checks this corner. Like, you come through here, no one's going to be like, over here peeking this, or this dude up here is not going to come in here and like quick peek you. That doesn't happen. So this is a ratty one, but it's pretty good. So you look at this blue flag, and then just to the right of your ultimate there's that curly line. Line that up just in the top right of the blue flag and give that a shoot, and that'll land right on the spike. And I've gotten kills with that. Just ratting there and shooting the lineup. So that one's pretty solid. But keep in mind it's hard to get to. So now, let's see, probably one more is here. So this one, again, is a little bit tough to get to. You have to know your opponents are on flank or in garage. But if you get here, what you can do is below this post, there's like this line on the roof tile. Right in the middle of this line, and just to the left, give that a shoot. And that also lands perfectly on the spike. Now, let's see. I will show some ult lineups, because some of these ult lineups, that is what I like most about playing Viper on Haven, is these ults are crazy good. So this is the only time where I would ever plant default. But for this ultimate, it's worth it. I'm telling you, this ultimate is just free rounds. Every time I use it, you instantly win the round. I've 1v5'd with this ultimate. I think I have that in one of my other videos. It's crazy good. So what you do is you line up in the corner, you look right here, you come forward just like one step. So like that. Basically just doop, one step forward. And then you click for your ult. And now what this does is it's kind of like mediocre at first when you look at this. Like, okay, it covers a little bit of garage. Log is like not great, but then you do this. You come back here and line yourself up here, and if you turn sideways, people can't see you from outside. You're perfectly hidden, and nobody ever shoots this. No one does this, and if they do, it's not even that high of a chance that they kill you. People come in like this, right? And when you look at this, they can't see you at all. Like no one comes into the smoke like clearing this, right? So you come in here, and the opponents have just no clue you're here. And the craziest thing is you come over here. So this little line, basically, just to the right of that, there's like a belt down here that you can't really see, but just to the right of it's fine. And then you see this line in the smoke. You just put your cursor on the right side of that, give that a toss, and it lands perfectly on default. And the opponents will never see this coming. No one will know where you're shooting this lineup from. No one will ever clear this back corner. So you just shoot that, and it's insane. Okay, so yeah, pretty much, and then you can just come around and shoot people, once your two mollies land. But you're good to go with that lineup.
My ultimate is ready.
On B, let's see. B. There's one that you can do. You want to plant the spike here.
Drop the spike.
This one is weird. So you come up to this rabbit, and then you just look straight down after looking at this like bottom of the paw.
Don't get in my
And so this ult is actually good even without like lineups for it, because it's right, like opponents, if you're sitting in this corner, like opponents can't really come through here, and they you know, they have like, who wants to be like walking into this, right? It's like, it's really hard. But there's also a lineup. So if you come and look at this, there's this little corner cubby. It's just this perfect little thing. And I don't know like how the Viper ult works to give you this, but it's really nice. And there's also like a cubby. Oh, I can't. Okay, cubby over here too. People most of the time don't check this, and like you hear people running out of garage, and then you just ambush them, kill them. But I typically like to sit in this cubby because no one ever checks this. Now there is a lineup, but I would be careful because they nerfed the like Viper toxin limit, so this doesn't last as long. You know, like outside your smoke, it goes down really fast and it doesn't come out very quickly. So I would typically only throw one molly unless you've got like a lot of time to wait. So what you do is you come over here to this wooden post, you look along this line, and then you jump shoot, just like that. And that lands on the spike. And this covers a massive area as well. And this does indeed cover the spike here. So that's a really strong lineup. But like I said, I would recommend you only use one molly, because if you try to do two, your ult is at risk of going down, and that's a disaster. Way worse than, you know, missing your molly or something. So that is a pretty dirty one for B. I like that one a lot. Won multiple rounds with that. Okay, so coming over to A, this one is probably your best bet. So what you want to do is, this one's so dirty. I've won so many like 1vx rounds with this, like 1v4. So you come over to this little belt, and then you aim at this like metal thing, and then you just cast your ult. And at first it looks pretty mediocre, like it's fine ult, but then you come over here, and there's this tiny little cubby here. And nobody checks this. Like, so even if someone shoots, they're like not really trying that hard. And like, I've only been killed in this cubby like one time ever. People don't check that. And so what you want to do is you come into your cubby, you look at the wall over here, and I don't know if graphics settings matter for this, but if they do, maybe that's important. You see this little Nike swoosh? What you want to do is you want to put your, so above your map there's an A site, like, you know, the words A site. What you want to do is you want to put the A, sorry, my server tick rate is in the obstructing this, but you put A site on top of this thing, just like that, and then you shoot it, and it lands. So the only problem with this one is you do need to plant it here. So let your team know, whoever's planting, like make sure they plant there this time, because otherwise the lineup obviously won't work. But there, this lineup is crazy strong. Okay, one more ultimate lineup. This one is hard to get off. So this one in a real match, in a premier match, might be hard, but it's really cool, so I just want to show it. You want to plant there, and then you want to come over here, and you just back up a little bit from this corner, so like right here. And so it'll cover this, so this is still in view. You could even do it a little farther back if you're concerned about it not covering it all the way, like back here. Now it should definitely cover the spike. And then check out this ult. So it comes over here, and you can actually walk all the way in, and look at this hallway. Like, if you're standing here, nobody's coming up these stairs. You have such a height advantage. You're looking down, you can see them first. Like, this is incredibly powerful if you can do this. And not only that, but so you get to come all the way over here, and there's a lineup even. So what you need to do is see this like line. You just have to line it up to where you can't see it anymore, and just get like close. Sorry, the ult's gonna go down. Just get close. It doesn't have to be exact, and just fire the lineup here, and it lands perfectly on this. So one more time all together, you just want to come over here, click here, spike's covered, run all the way up. Like, you're just going to be like a king on his throne. Like, no one's coming up this. And then just go ahead and shoot that. And there you go. Perfect. Molly. Okay, now one last thing. Orbs. So, orbs for this. Let me show you. We're going to end the game phase. Okay, so for this orb, it's a little precise, so you need to be careful with this. So you come up to the biphase barrier, which is just above this little dark thingy in the grass, and you go and end the game phase. You'll look at this middle part of this leaf, or of this flower here. It's above this big one. And you're going to do like a jump throw, but it's going to be delayed. So right at the top of your motion, jump throw. So I didn't release it immediately. I released it at the top of my motion. And what that'll do is it'll land it on top here. There's a way you can get it like down here, but this is perfectly fine. And so when you put this up, what this does is it covers heaven from the left side. So I'm going to show you in a second why this might be better than the regular orb. So you got to be careful, because if you're over here, you get shot. But you're over here. Let me put this down for a second. And then you go ahead and you do your plant. While your teammates clear over here, here, whatever. And then when you come back off site, without even having to deal with this orb, it actually covers the plant, which is cool. So it covers heaven and the plant at the same time.
Poison's off.
Because normally, if you throw this, I'll show you another lineup here. If you're the solo controller, you might want to do this. Basically what you do is you look straight down from this bulb and just instant jump throw. And that'll land just up here. But now it's like you can't get your orb. You're never getting this orb back. And so your lineups are going to be a little worse. But with that other orb, it lands, you know, just right up here. If I could get it. It lands right up here. And so it covers heaven and this. So it's something to think about, depending on if your team really needs that heaven smoke. Like if you got an omen too, like obviously don't even worry about it. Just use your orb on the molly, or your orb on the plant. Come over here. This is a very good orb. You should be throwing this almost every time. So you see these two lines on this crate. What you want to do is line up just to the right of your ultimate, the little squiggly line, right in the middle, like right here, and just running jump throw, or sorry, not running jump, just running throw. What that's going to do is land it here, and opponents in the backside can't see you. So you can plant here, just straight forward, and they can't see you. And then all it takes is you just put this down, you go ahead and grab this, throw it on top of the spike. And now you've got your lineup's orb, and you can go back here and feel free to throw your lineups accompanied by your orb. So it's very easy to get your orb back, and it's a really powerful tool for blocking off site. Okay, one last thing. Walls. So typical walls on this map pretty much suck. There's a couple you can do. I don't like this one because they can, like, along this line they can get into this cubby. So what I'll typically do is I'll do something like this. I'll just go ahead and give this a throw. So when you put this up, covers garage. This is great. But be careful of logs players, right? And be careful of people lurking out here. But it's still annoying to deal with for them, but they have a lot more opportunity. So this is kind of more of a temporary wall, while, you know, the one player's not going to push through this wall, but the whole team coming through this wall is dangerous. But it still covers garage nicely. So that's one decent wall for C. A good one that you can do is you can just cut off some of B. So you can just throw this. Ooh, I can't. Okay, let me get my wall back. You can either throw this wall to cover off A link, or better yet, this wall to cover off C link, because I find C link to be much more dangerous. This is much better than this usually. And you could even throw your orb over here if you wanted to, right? Like, ooh, I missed it. But let's imagine that I didn't miss it and it lands here. This is pretty decent because it'll cover this door, but it'll be hard to get your orb back. So mainly I would just have your teammates like throw, like, you know, something over here, like a killjoy mauler or something, and hold these people back while you use your wall over here. And someone plants a spike here or here. And okay, so one last thing. Wall for A. Wall for A kind of sucks. Like, I'm not going to lie, it's really bad. So if you want to do a wall here, I would line it up along this corner of tower. So you just toss that. And what that does is it does actually block off some of heaven, but it's not perfect. So, like, an opponent could come through this and see you, right? But it's like annoying for them, kind of, but it's not perfect, so you need to be careful. Oops, let me put this down real quick. So it'll cover short, which this doesn't really matter, but it'll cover this area back sight and back to hell. So the thing about this wall is it's good, but it allows people to lurk. So like obviously it covers a lot of sight, but you need to probably take space and then put it down like pretty quickly, because what the opponents can do is someone can sit here, right? So all these people can just sit back here totally chilling, or someone can, you know, hide here and then boom, and they start killing your team. So you need to be ready for those things. So I would put it up just till here and then bring it down immediately so that you can clear these angles. So it's just a good way to cut off initial angles. So I guess, yeah, that's pretty much it. There's your Viper Premier lineups guide, and best of luck to all you Viper players on Haven, and I might see you there, who knows.